Welcome students to Chapter 5. Today we are looking at a specific problem. How do we take the legal certainty of a physical signature on a paper contract and mathematically guarantee it in cyberspace? The answer is the digital signature. It provides 3 specific security guarantees: authentication of the sender, integrity of the message, and non-repudiation, meaning the sender cannot deny they authored the data. Notably, a signature does not encrypt the message itself, so it provides 0 confidentiality. To see how this works, let's look at the sender's workflow. First, the sender runs their message through a hash function. Then, in a major reversal from standard encryption, they encrypt that hash using their private key. For verification, the receiver takes that signature and decrypts it using the sender's public key. They generate a new hash from the raw message and compare the two. If they match, the signature is authentic. A common question is why we bother hashing the message at all instead of just signing the whole document. Using public key mathematics on massive files is slow and computationally expensive. Signing a tiny hash digest solves this, keeping the process fast. By combining hash efficiency with private key mathematical proofs, we create the trust layer used in modern online banking and e-commerce. Let's compare this to message authentication codes, or MACs. Both MACs and digital signatures successfully verify identity and protect the integrity of a message. But consider why a MAC cannot provide non-repudiation. If Alice and Bob are communicating using a MAC, they share the exact same secret key. If a dispute arises over a contract, a judge cannot mathematically prove whether Alice or Bob generated the message. Either of them could have forged it. Digital signatures eliminate this ambiguity. Because Alice is the only entity possessing her specific private key, denying her authorship is mathematically impossible. In the real world, the most common way to deploy this logic is through RSA-based signatures. Again, remember the key reversal. You sign with your private key, and the receiver verifies with your public key. Look at the mathematical formulas. For generation, the signature S equals the hash digest raised to the power of D, the private key, modulo N. However, its security relies on the difficulty of integer factorization, a mathematical barrier that may soon be surpassed. Quantum computers are being developed to solve complex integer factorization in a fraction of the time it takes classical computers. Once they arrive, RSA and our current PKI systems will fail. The solution lies in hash-based signatures, such as the Lamport signature. Instead of relying on prime numbers, these systems draw their security from cryptographic hash functions, making them resistant to quantum attacks. The major drawback of basic hash-based signatures is that the key pairs are single-use. Once you sign a document, that specific key pair is exhausted and must be discarded. We solve this limitation by deploying a Merkle tree. We generate multiple single-use keys at the bottom as leaf hashes. We then hash them together in pairs to form parent hashes, cascading upward until thousands of individual keys are mathematically bound into one single, verifiable root hash. As future software engineers, you need to understand tree-based hash signatures right now. The National Institute of Standards and Technology is actively standardizing this exact architecture for post-quantum security. Take a mental snapshot of this final comparison. Notice the progression in capabilities. MAC lacks non-repudiation entirely, while RSA and hash-based signatures provide it. But when we filter for quantum resistance, only the hash-based architecture remains secure. This data directly informs our system design choices. We deploy MACs for fast internal APIs. We use RSA for standard public web verification. And we reserve hash-based structures for future-proofing government systems, military communications, and next-generation blockchains. For your final exam, ensure you have mastered the mechanism of non-repudiation, the reversal of private and public keys in RSA, and the necessity of hash trees for security against quantum threats. This is Dr. Allah. Mastering digital signatures provides the technical framework for the secure, immutable systems and blockchain architectures you will build throughout your engineering career.